fundamentals for the win. That's all it was. It's a 1990 motorcycle. I've never seen anything like that. I don't do troubleshooting on motorcycles, and we were able to apply the same fundamentals we use today in a 2024 model year car. Same fundamentals as a 1990 motorcycle. So just want to emphasize the importance of understanding and learning your fundamentals. Once you know your fundamentals, you can troubleshoot anything. Yo, how's that for an intro? Did you have me in focus?
No.
Oh. Yo, it's Paul Danner here. I'm not Dan. I guess thanks Caleb for the ScannerDanner is Dan video, but
ScannerDanner is Dan.
I'm not Dan. This is Dan right here. This is Pete's brother Dan, and today we're looking at this motorcycle that has no spark. We're doing a no spark diagnosis on a completely unfamiliar motorcycle system that maybe, hopefully, we can troubleshoot it for him quickly. Danny had changed, you were having intermittent issues from what I remember. It rode fine, but after you drove it got hot, it would shut down on you.
Right.
When we changed all of the parts, which Danny did, the input, the crank sensor, the ignition module, ignition coil, when you change all of the parts, sometimes you can build in problems, especially when you buy aftermarket stuff. And you know, it's a 1990 model year Harley, and there is only aftermarket parts. So it's not like we can avoid that, but sometimes we build in problems in today's parts environment. Best description I got. Yeah. So you do have the old parts here.
Well, these are all new. All this is new.
But these are the older parts?
This is the old one, right?
This is the old. This is the old coil.
This here, you can see the plugs.
Okay.
The difference.
Yep.
Automatic.
And then you said you also changed the ignition module.
We get it. We got rid of it already.
The old module's gone.
Yeah.
Why did we do that?
Because Pete was cleaning up and.
What about the crank sensor? That's gone too?
Yeah, brand new one does in there.
That doesn't matter. New means nothing.
I know.
New means, you know what new means? This is
Mike.
from my friend of South Main Auto, Eric O. New means never ever worked.
Yeah. You're right.
That's what we feel about new parts.
There it is.
Okay, this is our pickup.
Pickup.
All right, so this is like car stuff, right? And these are the only two wires, Danny, for this?
On that system, yes.
So this just looks like a magnetic pickup. This is going to be an AC sine wave, two wire sensor. Typically is a AC sine wave.
Need that piece too.
What's that?
That goes in the center. That's your.
Oh, this is the
cap.
oh, okay. This is your little reluctor.
Yes.
There's your two cylinders.
Right.
As it rotates, it's making a sine wave for every little tooth there. There's two teeth, and then those would be timed. If you look, this is a 2-cylinder engine. So come over here, Caleb. You see my ignition coil, and you see the 2 cylinders. We got a spark plug going to each, a wire going to each, and then this coil, then that's what these little trigger wheel pieces, reluctor, drive plate, whatever you want to call it, trigger wheel, each one of those would represent when a cylinder is coming up to top dead center. It would make a sine wave. This would then go to an ignition module. The ignition module would then control this coil. And if you look at just looking at the wiring here, this is going to be probably a common feed in the center, and then 2 pulsed, ground side switched circuits is what this looks like at face value to me. Does that all sound right?
There is a little relay too.
Well, the relay is going to be powering that.
That's
yes.
right.
And then show me the module. Where's the module at? So is it open? Is that open?
180 out.
Let me go. Well, if you were 180 out, you'd still have spark. It would just be at the wrong time. Okay. And you said you don't have spark at all. Okay, so this is your pickup here. Let me go get my light. Because this might be kind of like a Petronix type system where I was wrong about the pickup. This may actually have the switching mechanism inside of this. In other words, this is the ignition module / pickup. It's all one assembly, and that's what they do with these.
How could that be dual power? Dual power. That's what they said for dual power. And dual fire setup has got 3 wires. That's what
Well,
I was lost about when I first put that
Well,
setup on. That's so brand new.
This is new.
Brand new. I got everything in that.
So
back is
what's
brand
in here now
new.
then?
That's new too. I went and bought that again.
But that's a different one.
different.
How many
style.
wires you got on that one?
3.
That's what I'm saying. This is a single.
And they say that the Harley shop says it's for a dual fire setup.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. That one's got 3 wires?
Yes, sir. Here
A wiring diagram would be huge here.
Dual fire. They said this was dual fire built into that setup.
So they gave you, so look at the difference
I
though.
paid 300 and some dollars.
Look at the difference.
Yeah.
You have only 2. This isn't right.
I told him make none
This-
of the money back.
This is not right for this bike.
That's what I thought. So,
Because
and I'm agreeing with you.
yeah, because you have, see, I don't know what the dual fire setup is.
With only 2 wires, my setup was already set up for 3 wires. You know what I'm saying, Paul?
Your setup was for 3 wires. So it could maybe a newer design work in that the dual fire would still be able to then trigger each cylinder based on this reluctor with only one feed and then one control that would pulse these separately. I don't know how that would work. Diagram. I'm speculating. Let me grab my light and let's see if we can figure out what's going on. And you definitely have no spark.
Well, you check it one more time.
We're going to. 12-volt system. These are no different than cars. Checking my light. So turn your key on. It should be up here, Caleb. All right, key on. We should have power. All right, center pin. That should be hot. And it is. And then these ones should be hot as well if they're ground side switched. It was hot for a second, then disappeared. Why? Did you see that?
I see that.
It was hot for a second. How strange. Then the bottom one, no light at all. So does that mean those are now being grounded? You said this coil got really hot.
Very hot. Burn your leg.
Okay, yeah, see the lights dim?
Yeah, super dim.
So that's being grounded right now. I'm going to switch my polarity to battery positive and then show you that that coil is being grounded right now. It's being grounded all the time on both of those. That's why the coil is getting hot, for sure. Now, what I don't know, Danny, is that a normal condition or not on this system? This top one's glowing. This bottom one is not glowing at all. It's like grounded all the way. Switching test light to battery positive again. Look at the brightness of that light. Look at the brightness of that light. See, I don't know if you can see that. They're different. That one's dimmer. This one's brighter. Look at the glow on my hand too. There's the bright one. There's the dimmer one. Okay? And that explains, back to battery ground now with my light, that explains why that one's glowing, because it's not fully grounded, and this one isn't glowing at all because it's fully grounded. So we got almost a full ground on this top one, a full ground on the bottom, and then, I got power there. Your relay is fine. All the relay does. So unplug that relay for me real quick. That light should go out when he unplugs this relay. He had mentioned a relay to me. So that has nothing to do with what we're doing. That relay is not tied in with this at all. Key off. Key back on. All right. I'm not worried about that relay, Danny.
Okay.
You can put it in. No, put it back in.
All right.
Okay. So then we got 3 wires, right? So we got multiples in here.
Yeah, one feeds from here, Paul. One feeds from
What's the other red wire for?
Yeah, the other red one, the hot one, it comes down to here. Right here, it's red.
Okay, so we're feeding power. Wait. So the black wire that comes in, then, Danny, you're saying in the center. I'm just talking about the center.
Center, yes.
The black one that comes in is coming from your switch up here.
It's up here, yes. If I turn this off, when you turn that on.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, get test light.
Hold on.
It's on now. Okay, now this is off.
Okay. Back on?
on.
Okay, got it. And then the red wire that's tied off of that in the center, it's tapped in. There's 2 wires on the center.
Yep, I see.
The black one's coming from the ignition switch and the start run circuit. And then the red wire then, Danny said, goes down to the pickup / module. Let's go on that side. So there's a red, a black, and a white coming in. Okay, so the red then is your positive, and your white and your black are your two controls. Where's your pickup for this? So that center.
Center thing here is my pickup.
No, it's not.
That's what I had originally.
Let me see that assembly.
Oh, right here.
What's underneath this bolt, Danny?
That big round thing here.
Is that the only thing?
That's the only thing, yes.
You need to have a trigger wheel. Where's the trigger wheel? So what I'm talking about by trigger wheel, this reluctor, I do. I want to see what's in there. You need something that's going to trigger this. This looks like the transistors are inside of here and here that are grounding this. Just want to see what kind of setup we're dealing with here. Turn your, yeah, we're overheating your coils right now. Is this the same assembly you had before?
From when I bought the bike, yes.
Okay, I see. So you have this whole.
That's your magnet.
This is a whole centrifugal advance mechanism as it rotates. So it's keyed. There's a notch right there that would sit in the notch on the crankshaft. The notch right there, and then this would rotate, and then as it would rotate faster and faster, these weights would throw. These are these frozen? There's not much movement. It's like keyed. How strange. But that's what this is it's a centrifugal advance, but there's a pin that keeps it from moving. I don't know enough about that. But the important part, the important part is, how is this magnetized? Let's see. It is. So this is a magnet that's in here. This magnet would then be what's triggering this to do what it does. This is a completely different design, Danny, than this. It is 100% different.
And I changed
This is not magnetized. This was meant to go with this one.
Right.
I feel like this can't be the right part for you. It can't be.
No.
This assembly, this is completely different, Danny.
Yes, sir.
This is completely different. This magnet, okay. So we should be able to, it's a magnet that triggers this. Where is the ground coming from? I would imagine that it grounds to the housing. Okay, let's prove that. And that would be simply turn your key on for me. I'm still on battery ground. This is probably gonna light, yeah. So the housing is a ground. For me to test this without cranking the engine over, and we never did that. But right now, if I go up top, we're gonna show no ground on any of them because that's not being grounded. But I'll show you that, come over here. So test light on ground. Notice how bright that is now because there's no ground on that assembly. Down here on this one, it's also bright, no ground. So I need a jumper wire. We're gonna ground this housing. Just gonna go right to where it was. You see that spark? Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is grounding these all the time. The problem is, I don't know if that's normal or not. It might be. It's dim. Bottom wire, not lit at all. Okay, so we have a full ground going on here, and we have partial ground going on here. What I want to do is trigger these. This looks like a pickup issue to me, Danny. I probably shouldn't have started here, and I should have started with using the engine to rotate to do this. But as this rotates, it should be triggering these on and off. You didn't save your old one. What did the old one look like? Did it look like this?
Exactly the same.
You didn't change this?
I didn't change that.
Do you have any transmission magnets? Like you have a magnet that I can use? I'm wondering if I can trigger this. I want to try to, but I have no way to show you both together. We need two cameras. So I'm going to use a jumper wire, and I'm just going to go on the top coil up here. Okay? Jumper wire to the top, so then we can have the test light over here, and we can show the test light glowing dimly on the one coil. That's bright now. Oh, that's hot. Like this is grounding these like all the time. Like I can't trigger this, but I might not have my polarity right. Let's try this pocket screwdriver. I'm switching to the other one, Caleb. Yep. I got no light on that one because it's being grounded all the time. If I take the ground away, you see the lights. This is getting warm to touch. So we're constantly grounding these, and I can't trigger it. There we go. Sweet. That's what we want. So this side's working. So I'm going to call that normal. Okay? On that one. So what we should have, as I'm doing that, what we should have coming out of that side, we should have spark. And unfortunately, I did this wrong. I never checked it first, but this bottom one right now, let me put my spark tester in there. That should spark. Show the light up here. So that's me. That's the coil's grounded right now, and this is me taking the ground away. Every time that magnet comes past this, that light is pulsing. So when you have a pulsing light like that, we should have spark every single time.
Could that be on?
Huh?
That switch for power? Could we get no power?
No, we have power there.
I thought we had to do this. There.
It was already on, wasn't it?
I think it was.
So is it grounding that circuit then? Hold on, I need to come back to the center. And then that switch was off?
Off, it was before, not back on.
Oh yeah, totally. We need that on.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. All right, well, we're gonna redo that test. This is still on the bottom coil. It's still being grounded all the time. Even though the key was off, it was still grounding that circuit. That light should flicker. No spark. No spark. Let's make sure that we're on the correct one. I'm just gauging wiring that we should be, but let's check this one too, just to make sure. Nothing. I mean, that suggests the coil is faulty, Danny. On that test, but hold on, I'm not done. I should be able to do the same with this one. This one is glowing. It changed on us too when we were working. I say glowing, that light's lit, suggesting no ground. There's no ground at all on the module itself, pickup. And this is me putting my jumper wire on it. So it is partially grounding that one. And I should be able to trigger this one just like I did the other side, and I can't. So what that's saying is this pickup is also bad on the one side. You got one side pickup that's faulty, and you got a faulty coil. You can actually hear this one. But we see nothing, right? Let me go back on the other side. I'm missing also some information on exactly how this system works. I'm assuming, and maybe I shouldn't be, I don't have service info on this. I'm working blind, hoping that we can help a friend without the research involved. Let's see if that sparks this.
Yep.
Okay, so that's interesting.
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
So the interesting part is this side is triggering that, and there's the dimness of the light that's misleading. This one, that does nothing, but maybe I'm just not understanding the design here. Because I got a black wire here and a white wire here. The black side, I can't trigger anything on either coil. The white side makes that's the white wire, And it's making spark on which one? On the black. Let me go back down to this one. That's the white side. White side. Okay. Back to that. Okay. What? That's just my test. What? Like, I could trigger that side, but my test light shouldn't be changing things. I can trigger the white side. Okay? That's the white wire, white pickup, test light. I could trigger it. But I can't make it spark unless I'm putting my test light, unless the test light's interfering. It could be. Let's just get the test light out of the picture for a second. It shouldn't be, but the test light's not going to do anything now, so it's just going to be this. All right, so test light out of the picture, I can make it spark, which means the test light is acting as a ground too, and it's not fully letting it go, and it won't spark with the test light in there. So like, I can't use my test light like I normally do for spark testing. Okay, so let's scratch the test light. I can make the white side fire. Okay. Let's see if we can make the black side fire without the test light. That's, when I say black side, I'm talking about black wire, top coil. I can't trigger that side. So this pickup on the black side, it grounds that one coil all the time. And I can't trigger it. I can't do anything with it. The white side one works. So did this try to start?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's trying to start because you're running on one cylinder. You don't have the old one. Where did you get this part? This part's junk.
I can't get a new one.
This part's junk.
So the coil's good.
Well, I haven't tested the black side, so to test the coil, what we can do is switch the wiring. Danny, can you unbolt the wiring on the white? And then I'll just run a jumper up to the black. I just want to make sure I can fire this coil on the black side. The test light interfering is weird. These Petronix type systems are weird. So what I'm going to do is just take the white circuit. I know the black side doesn't work. Or no, we need to take that off too, yeah. We're just going to swap these. I'm going to put the white circuit on where the black is. The white one was grounded all the time until I triggered it. The black one was sometimes grounded, sometimes not. And that was the one that had the partial ground too at times. So we're going to, having trouble reaching here, but that's okay. We're going to do this. I'll take the white and connect it up here. And I should be able to make this should be able to make this one fire. Let's turn your key on, turn your switch on, Danny, for me. Got to ground my base. Yeah, I just heard it.
Yep.
That's the other coil. So your coil's fine. There's nothing wrong with your coil. Can't come over here, Caleb. I should be able to trigger this with this pickup. And I can. This pickup magnet is fine. You have a faulty, one half of this is faulty.
Brand new.
One half of this is faulty.
So if I get a new one,
You should be good. You should be good. Yeah, your wiring is fine. As long as you didn't mix up your whites and blacks.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't.
You know, the last thing to show you guys that we did not do, and I should have done it when we started, is just crank it over and check for spark from both coils. And what we would have found is one coil was sparking and the other one was not. This is faulty on this side. You know what we also need to make sure though is it's possible that wiring was repaired. Let's confirm that my wire down here is good from here to there, and that's going to be my Phil's probe. A little quick back a little quick hook in there. This is a perfect time where you need one. You have no other options here. You guys tell me, where are you gonna back probe this? You're not gonna back probe this. Little liquid tape when we're done, we're gonna Phil's probe that right there. All right, so we were using the white wire to trigger the bottom coil and the top coil, right? Taking that back off, taking this off, not worried about the white wire anymore. We're gonna confirm that the black wire integrity from here down is good, okay? The way we're gonna do that, we're gonna rely on the circuit itself. It's gonna have power going into the center. It comes out and is being grounded on the black wire. Snug that up. Okay. Test light was really not the tool for this one because it interfered with some of our testing. Very bright test light right there. I should have a very bright test light down there. His wiring is fine. That's power going into the coil, wrapping through the coil, coming out of the black wire on its way to the ground in the switching transistor that's inside of here. It is not switching that circuit. You think we could smack on it?
I think that would be cool.
Let's try it. No. Nope. Why did this side... Oh, I have it disconnected right now. But early when I was triggering this side, that light dimmed a little bit. That's only because it's a shared power feed. This pickup's bad. 100% this pickup's bad. What does new stand for again? Erico, what does new stand for? Never ever worked. Good lesson. So one final thought, and I hope this makes sense on the test light interfering with what we were trying to do. On this design, my test light connected to ground. So think about the white side that was working. What does that little pickup, like I'm calling it Petronix, it's not, but it's similar in that the transistor, the pickup, it's all one assembly. All it uses is a power feed and a switched ground. That's it. Identical to an old Petronix system. So what the test light was doing when connected to the working coil, why wasn't the working coil sparking with my test light there? My test light was connected to ground, providing another ground path, and as the transistor is switching off momentarily, off is when our spark occurs because it grounds it all the time, which we now know, grounds it all the time, and when a pickup comes by, it lets go of the ground. What was the test light doing? The test light was providing an alternate ground path, a high resistive ground path, but with a good ground path already there, and a separate high resistive ground path when the pickup comes by to let go of the ground. The magnetic field was able to be maintained on the coil through the test light. It's unique to this design. The test light messed me up here. Added to a variable on using test light for ignition coil testing. This was one. You can't really do it. Not on this design. It helped us, but also confusing at first. But this will be good when we get that new part. My final thought on that, I know why that didn't work. The test light tests, it did work. We could see the test light flickering on and off, but why it wouldn't spark the coil on this design. The unique part of this design was that it's grounded all the time. Ignition coils on our systems are not grounded until it's time for them to fire. Then it's grounded momentarily, like 5 milliseconds long, and then it's let go. When it's grounded all the time, that field is fully saturated before you're even testing it. And the test light, again, what I described before, is exactly why. I have seen this countless times on solenoids. A solenoid, my truck's really bouncy, sorry for the camera work here, but a solenoid will not be energized by a test light like I use because it's not enough current flow, right? Not all solenoids, but most. When you put your test light on the solenoid and then maybe switch it on with a scan tool or ground it with a jumper wire and then take your jumper away or turn it off with the scan tool, the solenoid will stay energized as long as your test light's there. I've seen it many, many times. So it's the same exact scenario. So I just wanted to add that before we go back and finalize this with a final piece. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. That was still really, really valuable in testing because I got to show you a working one and a non-working one and proving the coil. That was just a really, really cool procedure. So if we get a chance, we'll show you the final. If not, hope you guys like that. Fundamentals for the win. That's all it was. It's a 1990 motorcycle. I've never seen anything like that. I don't do troubleshooting on motorcycles, and we were able to apply the same fundamentals we use today in a 2024 model year car. Same fundamentals as a 1990 motorcycle. So just want to emphasize the importance of understanding and learning your fundamentals. Once you know your fundamentals, you can troubleshoot anything. Thank you guys, we'll see you next time. This is just a follow-up, guys, on our motorcycle diagnosis. It starts and runs great, right? You guys?
You had a slippery rock, yeah.
Okay, no problems, everything's good?
Here.
So
It's running good.
let's hear it run, huh? Are we in neutral? Yes. Key on. Where's my choke? Right.
Yep.
Lift up on it.
Yep.
Okay. And run.
Give it gas and then
That's all you guys get. There's your after repair. The bike runs. It's got spark on both cylinders. I'm not going to show you the spark on both cylinders. It runs good. Hope you guys like that. That was out of our normal realm of things that we have done. And actually, we got another one coming up soon here on a quad runner that's fuel injected that we're going to be doing. So stay tuned for that.